Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shense4. I'll be your host today for discussing today's topic, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky Starter Tier List Maker. Now by no means am I an official guide or anything like that. I just wanted to personally share my opinions on this because I've seen no YouTube videos discussing this, oddly enough, and seeing how Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky is my favorite series of all time, I definitely wanted to cover my own personal thoughts after playing the game quite a lot of times over the years. So here we have the tier lists. We have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. And then just for a little bit of fun, I put this in Ubers, Overused, Underused, Never Used, and PU in reference to normal, like the actual original Pokemon game, competitive battling. So that's just for fun. You don't have to really pay attention to that too much. But yeah, so I'm going to be going over what I think is objectively the best in terms of starter pick, and I'm going to be going over a couple of factors, mainly IQ skills, TM compatibility, how the starters fare in the main storyline and the post-game, pre-evolution versus post-evolution, and a little bit more of aesthetics and personal opinions. So with that being said, let's move on to our first candidate. We have Pikachu, the one and only, the original cute little yellow mouse, the mascot of Pokemon right here. And let's see, for Pikachu, well, Pikachu is very, very simple. He's in the IQ group D, and I'm also going to be making out an IQ tier list soon after, so definitely check that out. It's going to be more or less in contrast to this video. You might want to use that to refer to why I make some of my decisions in this video. But IQ group D it's not the best IQ group, not gonna lie. It's not the worst. A couple of good qualities about it would be something like Quick Striker, Stare Sensor, and Trap Seer, but none of them really go together. However, most people don't pick Pikachu for that. Most people pick Pikachu, one, for the cute little aesthetics of having the main Pokemon mascot as your main character or your partner, and two, because of his move pool. So Pikachu actually learns quite a good couple of moves early on that'll help you in the game. Mainly, he has access to Thunder Wave, which is a really good paralysis tool that allows you to paralyze your enemies. I know it misses quite a lot, but it can come in clutch, and it definitely does come in clutch when you need it sometimes. Don't quote me on that. But later on, he also learns a very useful move in this game called Agility, which boosts the speed of all your members in your team, which allows you to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and Discharge, which is a room move. So that in and of itself places Pikachu, I would personally say, at least B tier and above. I don't know whether or not he would be, definitely not S tier, but I would say B plus to solid A minus. I'm gonna give Pikachu a solid A minus. The only thing is that Pikachu's move coverage pool is a little bit lacking, but if you were to pick Pikachu as a starter, remember, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a team-based game, not just an individual-based game, and so therefore you probably should pick another starter or partner that helps you cover a lot more. So I'm gonna go with this, potentially B plus. So one of these two. This is all subjective. Oh, also, because Pikachu he learns his moves pretty well and pretty quickly. His go-to KO move is Thunderbolt, which is another good move that he can learn, and he learns that at level 26. So you'll be definitely picking that up around, I would say, definitely pre-post game. You're definitely going to pick that up in your main playthrough. So that alone places Pikachu a little bit higher up. He's going to be able to fare pretty well against most bosses. Because in this game you can paralyze bosses even if they're ground type or if they're electric type. His static ability is also pretty good, and compatibility, he has pretty good TM compatibility. I would say he learns quite a couple of good moves. Not any of the main elemental moves, but definitely like Dig, Iron Tail, Thunder or Thunderbolt if you pick that up early, so that's definitely very, very useful. So that's luck of the draw. Pre-evolution, Pikachu's pretty good. His stats cap out pretty early, so he's gonna be, once he levels up a bit more than normal, he's gonna his EXP gain is going to make his stats go a little bit lower. So while other Pokemon might still gain 3 or +2 or +3 bonus points per stat per level up, Pikachu is probably going to cap out a little bit earlier, going +2 and +1 a little bit earlier. But to make up for that, Pikachu actually has one of the fastest EXP curves in the game, so he actually levels up faster than most other starters, so that's a definite plus. So again, A minus, B plus. I wish there was a middle point. I should have probably made a middle point in here. Okay. Next we have Eevee. Now Eevee is a very interesting Pokemon because many players, when they pick Eevee, well, first of all, Eevee can only be picked as a girl, I believe. Right here, if we go to playable characters, you'll notice Pikachu you can play as both a male and a female, whereas Eevee you can only play as a female. So if you're not into that, unfortunately, then, you know, for male players or players who want their main character to be a male, you don't have the option to play Eevee. So that is something to take into consideration. But if you don't care about that, then disregard that comment completely. So Eevee is a very interesting Pokemon, mainly because it's a normal type, and normal types in this game are not that bad, but they're not that good. I would say they're like B tier overall in the game, mainly because Eevee has adaptability too, so that helps it a lot. But also most players pick Eevee because they want to go post game and they want to choose their own evolution, whether that be Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Flareon. Most people would pick Vaporeon or Jolteon. But yeah, so Eevee's gameplay mechanics are going to be largely different depending on whether or not you choose to focus on pre-post game or actual post game. So that all depends. Eevee right now has a IQ group of F. So F is pretty solid. Some notable things would be like Pierce Hurler, Stare Sensor, and All-Terrain Hiker. That's definitely very, very good for it. It allows it to explore things while maintaining a constant sense of that it can fight back, especially with that adaptability bonus as well. So definitely very good, and because this is the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games where you can max out your special attack, its move Trump Card, I believe, is a special move. It'll do more damage than most other moves that it will have. Eevee's access to TMs is a little bit more limited. It can also learn Dig and Iron Tail, but not too much that you would use in a daily scenario, in a daily dungeon crawling scenario. So a little bit more limited than other players. And although it is very strong with normal adaptability bonus, you have to realize it's normal type, so it will still do half damage to all the things that resist normal, as well as be have very little effect against ghosts in general. So I'm gonna go with B tier for Eevee right now. Main storyline, I say Eevee would be decent. He'd have a little bit of trouble from here and there, not too much, but he's not like one of the easier characters. But once you go to post game and you're able to evolve him, then that changes the entire story. So definitely I would say solid B tier for Eevee, at least from my opinion. Okay, next we have the Bulb, the original Bulbasaur right here, the very first Pokemon in the Pokedex. Bulbasaur, I would say solid. This is a little bit harder for me to judge because grass types in this game are generally disadvantaged in both the main game and the post game, simply because Game Freak did grass types a little bit dirty in general, as well as ice types, in that they made them have quite a lot of weaknesses to most things, you know, fire, ice, bug, flying, and you know, there's quite a lot of those moves and enemies that spam all those moves, and poison as well, obviously. So Bulbasaur, I would say, would be a solid C tier. It also is in the IQ group of F, so not the best, not the worst in terms of IQ. Venusaur, he doesn't have access to his Mega Evolution in this game, so unfortunately not too bad, but not too good. Bulbasaur is also one of the starters that you get to pick, you know, from the beginning of the game in normal Pokemon games. So Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Gen 2 starters, Gen 3, Gen 4 starters. So Bulbasaur, because he's in that Gen 1 starter pool, his EXP gain is going to be slightly slower than if you were to pick a Pokemon outside of that, such as Vulpix, Phanpy, Skitty, Riolu, Shinx, Pikachu, and Eevee. Eevee will have a slightly bigger advantage in terms of leveling up quicker. So I would say Bulbasaur solid C tier. Doesn't really have too much going for it. Group F it's okay. It's okay. You know, I would actually say Bulbasaur. I wish they made Bulbasaur have an IQ group with a little bit more tankiness designed in mind. They made Bulbasaur into more of an explorer Pokemon, which is fine, but I personally think that it does not befit Venusaur's stats. But then again, because you can increase the stats to no end in this game, it doesn't really matter overall. Also, I'm going to preface this right now by saying that all this is just my opinions. I'm quite aware that my opinions are not absolute and they might disagree with quite a lot of other people, but I've played this game for quite a number of years, and I'd like to think that because I've ran through the game so many times with so many different starters, I have a decent understanding of what I'm going about. So yeah, Bulbasaur's move move and TM compatibility is pretty good. He can learn all the grass type moves, and grass types, although they are disadvantaged in type advantage, they actually do have a huge advantage in the move sets that they can learn. So mostly you would want to put Bullet Seed and Giga Drain on most grass types, starters or otherwise, mainly because Giga Drain, you obviously need a move to heal yourself, and Bullet Seed in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, in case you guys are unaware, 2 to 5 hitting moves that hit the enemy 2 to 5 times in a row are broken in this game, absolutely broken. They actually hit harder than like a normal tackle per hit of the 2 to 5 hits. So if you get 5 hits, imagine doing like 5 tackles worth of damage plus stab. So it's definitely not bad, but personally, I just don't think that Bulbasaur is as good as some of the other characters on here. So I'm gonna maintain that he's a C tier for now. Squirtle's actually, he's okay. Once again, none of these Pokemon have access to their Mega Evolution, so unfortunate for that. Let's take a review. Squirtle has the IQ group of E, and the IQ group of E is honestly one of the worst IQ groups in my opinion, unfortunately, for a little shell shocker boy. He's not going to be advantaged in the IQ group. That automatically puts him into either C, low B, or D, unfortunately. I do personally rank IQ groups as one of the highest factors because that's going to be proccing regardless of wherever you are, and if you can get enough gummies with Spinda's Cafe, it's going to start proccing very early in the game. He has very good move coverage, obviously, because being a water type, you do decently well, I would say, in the main storyline, and you do pretty good in the post storyline, especially when you get access to more of your moves at a higher level. So definitely not a bad choice. Again, C+, B-. I would personally prefer Eevee over Squirtle, just in my personal taste. Also, Squirtle has a higher EXP curve, so he levels up a little bit more slowly. And yeah, unfortunate, man. Unfortunate, my dude. But I personally think he deserves C+ or B-. Alright, Charmander. Now, Charmander, I would say definitely either B tier or A tier, depending on if you choose to focus on his pregame or postgame. Pregame, Charmander's very good because he has access to Smokescreen. Now, for those of you who don't know, Smokescreen is absolutely broken in this game. It literally, if you hit it, the enemy gets sent into a whiffer status, which means that they cannot do anything for freaking like 3 to 5 turns. Like literally they cannot hit you with anything, so that sucks for them, and that's really good. And Charmander learns at an extremely early level, meaning that he's able to spam that on most bosses like Drowsy, probably Groudon, like most 1v1 bosses. You got that covered and taken care of. Now in the late game, Charmander does not fall off at all. He evolves into Charizard, obviously, as you all know. Charizard has access to Air Slash, one of the more useful flying type stab moves. Heat Wave, which is a move that hits the entire room. Wonderful move. Fire Blast or Blast Burn. Fire Blast hits the enemy in front of you very hard. Blast Burn hits one square all around you, very nice. And also Flamethrower, so very good move coverage. I would definitely put him B+ or A- tier, depending on what it is. The only thing that is limiting him from going straight up into the A tier is that he has the IQ group. He's in IQ group C. Now IQ group C, I would say, is the most classic of most starters, especially fire starters. Most fire starters will be in IQ group C, and they have IQ groups such as Pierce Hurler, Intimidator, and Extra Striker, which are, albeit situational for the most part. They're more situational than most things that are situational, so he'll be able to use Intimidator and Pierce Hurler for a variety of things, but because they're such high IQ skills, you're not going to be able to use them until late game. So definitely B+ / A- tier. If he had a better IQ rating, solid A tier. And once he evolves, I would probably put him solid A tier right there. Okay, next, Chikorita. Ooh, Chikorita, my girl Chikorita. I'm going to place her here for now, and I will explain why. Chikorita, for those of you who don't know, is probably the one Pokemon that is biased against most in this game. She's pure grass typing, first of all, so she's weak to all of those grass type weaknesses. So that sucks. And her move pool isn't anything in particularly special. The one thing that would set her apart from being utterly garbage would be her IQ group. Now, Chikorita is the one and only starter in this list that is in the IQ group of H. Now, IQ group H is very, very interesting because it focuses almost solely on utility, and it's the better utility IQ group of the two, the other IQ group being IQ group B. So it has Bodyguard, that's really good. It has Fast Friend, one of the best skills in the game for recruiting post-game legendaries. All-Terrain Hiker, which allows you to chase down a lot of Pokemon, and also Nature Giver, which allows berry moves to extend to most all members of your party. So definitely very good. I would put her here only because you're not going to get access to most of those IQ skills until post-game. Your move coverage is pretty limited. You're weak to most types in the game. Most people joke around that playing as Chikorita through the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky games is kind of like sending the game on hard mode. Albeit, I will say for more experienced players that know what to do, it's more of a challenge, like a very, very fun challenge than anything else. But if you don't know what to do, I definitely do not recommend going with Chikorita as a starter, unfortunately, unless you value post-game experience more than a normal game. Obviously, you can learn Geiger Drain and Bullet Seed as well, so very, very good over here. And not lacking in any sort of aesthetics department other than the fact that it looks just like a freaking cute little bean and evolves into like this little derpy little looking Meganium dinosaur bean thing in its post game. So other than that, yeah, but definitely for newer players, do not recommend. It sets the game on hard mode, you know. Okay, next we have Totodile. Ooh, Totodile. Okay, Totodile is an IQ group E, which is, oh, that's right, E is not very good. I would say Totodile is still better than Chikorita in terms of, I don't think any Pokemon on this list is as bad as Chikorita. Unfortunately, it doesn't make the game as unfair to use any other Pokemon. But Totodile, he has a lot of move coverage. I'll give him that. He's like high C tier, a lot of move coverage. You can learn Crunch, Ice Fang, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, but he doesn't, that, you know, because he's able to learn so much, that does not give him Stab once he turns into Feraligatr, because Feraligatr is solely water type. So, you know, you're going to be doing less damage than if you were to do with most other moves. He does not have a move that covers the entire room, unfortunately. Neither does Squirtle, if I'm correct. Surf does not hit everyone in this game, and Muddy Water does not either. Oh, they can learn Blizzard, so that's one thing, but it's not Stab, so, you know, it's not Stab. It can miss sometimes. Bulbasaur has Petal Blizzard, but obviously that's not a move that's out over here right now. So unfortunately, a little bit more disadvantage. IQ group not the best. TM compatibility pretty good. Main storyline, definitely water types are advantage in the main storyline. They'll be able to handle most of the dungeons very, very well, as well as post storyline. I would say water types are the best at handling the main and the post storyline. So regardless of where I put them personally here, they are all excellent choices to start the game in, whether you pick Gen 1, 2, 3, or 4. Although I would say Mudkip has the advantage because of dual typing and Piplup as well once you evolve them. So yeah, definitely high C tier, low B tier, I would say, personally. Okay, next, Cyndaquil. Now Cyndaquil, Cyndaquil also gets access to most of the moves that Charmander does, as well as Smokescreen at an early level. So that's really, really good, but he really falls off, in my opinion, late game, and he's inferior to Charizard because, one, he doesn't have flying type, so it gives him less stab. Two, his idle animation just looks so derpy, in my opinion. Like, I played through this game once with Cyndaquil, and I wanted to do it just because I wanted to see how cool Typhlosion looked, and I'm sorry, fam, just don't do it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth seeing Typhlosion do that, you know, that wonky little cute little dance idle animation that he has. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it, in my opinion. So solely because of that, I would put him high, like just an inch away from B tier, just because of that. Coverage very good. Has a lot of good TM coverage. Will do decently in, I mean, like, I'd say pretty good in the main storyline. Suffer a little bit more in the post-game storyline, as fire types tend to do. So yeah, there you have it. However, if you're picking him and you don't care about the animation, definitely B tier. He has Smokescreen as well, so that's also very, very good. Access to Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Blast Burn, and he also does not have access to Heat Wave, so I don't believe. So that puts him also as inferior to Charmander, unfortunately. Cynical also has the IQ group of C, like most fire types, so it's not going to help him too much. He's going to be able to use it more or less in throughout most of the end game story content, but not throughout most of the early game. So for that reason, high C+. All right, Treecko. Now Treecko Sceptile, one of my personal favorite Pokemon in general. Let's see. Let's take a look at his IQ group. His IQ group is in D. Okay. So D, IQ group D, just like Pikachu, not the best, not the worst. I consider it like a jack of all trades IQ group. I would say he's a little bit better than Bulbasaur and in terms of IQ group, but he's also grass type, so I can't put him too high up. He's like slightly better than Chikorita and slightly higher than Bulbasaur. A little bit less than Cyndaquil, I would say. Most of his IQ groups skills will come in very handy late game, unfortunately not early game. Access to moves, decent. Bullet Seed, Gyude Drain, obviously. Energy Ball. I think he gets Detect, Leaf Storm as well, Slam. Nothing too special, but I really like his aesthetic, so not too much to say. Because he's a grass type, obviously pure grass type, he's going to struggle both in the pre-game plus post-game, unfortunately. But you know, if you're a more experienced player, you shouldn't have too much of a difficulty with that. Playing as a grass type as a beginner is, you know, like I said, setting the game on hard mode, so I don't recommend. For that reason, C tier. Okay, next, Mudkip. Okay, I'd say straight up either B tier or A tier right here, mainly because Mudkip has access to Earthquake, a move that hits everyone in the room. He's dual stab, only quad weak to grass types, and I don't think there's like any super difficult grass types in this game in terms of boss battling or anything like that. It does extremely well pre-game and post-game because of his water and ground dual typing. Has access to Blizzard as well as Hydro Pump, Hydro Cannon, Muddy Water, and yeah, like I'd say like a solid pick. He excels in the category of IQs as well. He's IQ group F, so I'd say that's a solid exploration theme based IQ group. He already has access to water type terrain because he is a water type. However, he also gets Pierce Hurler, Stair Sensor, and All Terrain Hiker. So that I'd say that's pretty good. I would rate Mudkip as A tier, A minus to B plus, like no question asked. Torchic. Personally, one of my favorite starters to start out. I've played as Torchic many times. Now, I would say high A tier, A plus to S minus, because not because of its IQ group. Unfortunately, Torchic's IQ group is in IQ group C, which means that it has a decent. It has Intimidator, Pierce Hurler, Extra Striker, which means you can use that, but not until post game. Fire types do pretty well in the main storyline, but not super well in the post game. But Torchic has access to... Torchic makes the game, in my opinion, a little bit more fun in that it has access to Mirror Move, which essentially makes you invulnerable to all other Pokemon moves, regardless of what it is, unless it's a normal A button press move. And that just makes the game so much more fun. Oh, or a long distance move, I think. But that just makes the game so much more fun, especially if you run into like a monster house and then you just want to let the monsters kill themselves. That's really fun. It has access to Blast Burn when it evolves. Blaziken has access to Double Kick, a very good spammable 2-hit move. Very good, and it does a lot of damage. Flamethrower, Blast Burn. Does not have access to Heat Wave. Actually, I rescind my opinion. Probably, I'd say solid A, high B now that I'm thinking about it. I think my personal I'm just biased towards Torchic and Blaziken because I like the Pokemon so much. So solid A minus, B plus, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say so. So let's put him there. Team compatibility, has a very good wide range of TM moves to pick up from dungeons. You can get quite lucky with Torchic. Has some pretty good moves. It learns Peck at a very early level, so very good coverage, I suppose. Other than that, you have to wait until post game in order to bring out the true potential of Torchic. So yeah, there's that. Next Pokemon on this list, Turtwig. Turtwig, pretty bad pre-game, a little bit better post-game once you evolve him because he gains access to Earthquake, because Torterra. Earthquake also is a little bit of a disadvantage because while it is stab for these two Pokemon, it does hit all members of your own team, unfortunately. But Turtwig does have an edge over Mudkip because he can learn Giga Drain plus Bullet Seed, so not bad. I would say it's actually one of the better grass starters, like actually the best grass starter of the 4. Mainly because of its dual typing. And let's see, Turtwig has access to IQ group E. Ooh, okay, that's really not a good IQ group, but C+ or B-. C+ or B-. I definitely say Charmander is better than it. Charmander could be even, I would say B+ A- actually. So yeah, so let's put them there for now. Next, we have Piplup. Piplup is very good pre and post game, obviously, because it's a water type. Piplup is also IQ group F, so it has a solid IQ group, Pierce Hurler, Stare Sensor, All-Terrain Hiker, very good. Gets access to Empoleon once it evolves, so Steel Water type, one of the best type combinations in the game in my opinion. So definitely B or A tier. Nothing's an S tier for now, and I'll explain that in a second. But I would say I would say mid A tier. Does not have access to anything else other than Blizzard, unfortunately. So no stab move that hits everyone in the room. He'll do fine. He's a fine starter to pick, I suppose, and he evolves pretty well. One thing to note is that Empoleon's idle animation looks a little bit funny in late game, so that's something to consider if you like aesthetics a lot. He has access to a lot of good moves, Flash Cannon, Drill Peck, and stuff like that, but it's you know, aesthetics are important too, I suppose. So if you don't like that and you just like Piplup, don't evolve him or pick another starter. But yeah, mid to low A tier, I suppose. Okay, Chimchar, IQ group C, very basic like most fire starters. I would say access to Fury Swipes at a very early level. I think he also gets Leer and Screech, if I'm not mistaken, so you can link those moves together, and you can definitely do devastating amounts of damage for sure. Once he evolves to Infernape, you get access to Drain Punch, I think, Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, all those good stuff, Flare Blitz, very good. I'd say high B tier, like probably right after Charmander, if Charmander didn't have the freaking cheesy smokescreen for, you know, desperate measures. So yeah, definitely very good starter. Move compatibility, very good, even more so when you're Infernape. Yeah, and yeah, he does pretty well, very well pre-game. Not, you know, he struggles a little bit more in post-game, but that's okay. Post-Evo, he obviously soars up really well. Okay, Vulpix. Vulpix is very interesting because Vulpix actually is one of the only Pokemon on this list that gets IQ Group G. Now, IQ Group G is very useful. I would say IQ Group G is like one of the better ones out there. Take a look at my IQ group tier list video for more information on that. But essentially, it's one of the most useful things in that you have both Map Surveyor and Stare Sensor. Those are the two, in my opinion, best combinations of IQ skills, because it will just help you so much in every single dungeon that you go through. So much, you know. Ninetales isn't a bad Pokemon. It learns Heat Wave, so definitely not bad at all. You know, I would even say it might be the first S tier, if not for its weakness to ground and rock, which sometimes it hurts it a lot. Decent coverage moves in terms of TMs, very good IQ skills. One of the things that's keeping me from putting it like giving it more praise is the fact that you cannot access it as a boy. Vulpix, as you can see, you can only access it if you're a female. So I personally like to play my characters as boys because I'm a guy. So that peeved me off just a little bit. But if you don't care about that, definitely a very good starter to go to pick. I would imagine, and it would. Yeah, definitely. I would say it's pretty solid, like high A tier to low S tier. You know, one or the other. Okay, Phanpy, D tier. I'm sorry, Phanpy is. I would even say Phanpy is worse than Chikorita because ground type is bad against water types and grass types, and there's a lot of water types. Oh man, Phanpy got the short end of the stick when it came to all the other non-starter type, main series starter type Pokemon. because he's in IQ group E, which means he's in one of the worst IQ groups. He doesn't really get much. It's not even like a pure tank IQ group. It's more like a semi tank that almost like their IQ group almost reflects their the Pokemon that they're based off of, like the actual real life animal. Like if Chikorita is based off of like a vegetarian dinosaur, or Phanpy's based off of like an elephant. They're like gentle giants that will try to help you, I would imagine, but they're not like really the best at anything. Chikorita has an advantage over Phanpy because more stab moves, better move type coverage. Grass does better against a lot of other Pokemon. Phanpy has absolute abysmal move pool for sure. I'm playing through with Phanpy right now on Twitch, and I know Phanpy is like playing the game definitely on difficult mode. He has one of the highest EXP gain levels, so he'll level up probably faster than most Pokemon on this list because of it, to help offset that, but not enough, man, not enough. And to top it all off, all of his stab moves don't really help him. First of all, one of the more useful stab moves, Dig, he can't learn, so that sucks. Second of all, his other good stab move, Rollout, misses half the time. Third of all, Magnitude and Earthquake damage your own teammates. You don't get that until a higher level. So freaking, I'm sorry, man. Like they eviscerated him when they tried to make him fair and balanced. Phanpy, in my opinion, probably one of the worst starters to pick. Unfortunately, he's very cute. I like his shade of blue, but not a very good starter to pick. Unfortunately, do not go for Phanpy. Okay, Skitty. I would say high A tier, S tier. Also has access to IQ group G, so one of the best IQ groups in my opinion. Map Surveyor, Stare Sensor, very, very good. Has Normalize, which makes essentially every move stab. So you teach Skitty Blizzard and you get stab normal type damage. So very, very good in my opinion. Definitely S-, S, or A+ tier for sure in my opinion. However, one good drawback from that is that because all your moves are normal type, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty dealing with bosses that resist it, such as Primal Dialga, because none of your moves, you don't have move coverage. You're going to be relying very heavily on your partner for move coverage. Skitty will do very, very well normal in the normal storyline, do pretty dang well in the post storyline as well. Normal types, like I said, they do pretty well overall, far better I think than they do in the main storyline games. So, but unfortunately, you can also only play as Skitty if you're a female in this game. But Skitty also gets Zen Headbutt, and then Phanpy, one of the only things that sets it off is that it gets Ancient Power. Also, you can only play as Phanpy as a boy. Just putting that out there. So yeah, I'd say these two girl Pokemon right here, only being played as a girl, but very, very good, I would say. Riolu, also very good. I would say A tier because he gets Copycat, which is a very, very interesting and fun move. So Riolu is very fun to play. Gets Force Palm, which can get you Lucky Paralysis moves. Riolu, I think, has IQ group of C. Yeah, so average IQ group. Potentially putting it down here. But once it evolves into Lucario, man, you get that stab, long range Aura Sphere. You get Dark Pulse, which hits everyone around you. You get Drain Punch, which is a move that restores your HP, and you get a spammable Metal Claw. So probably A- B+ tier. When it evolves into Lucario, definitely S-, A+ tier for sure. I'll put it a little bit behind Torchic even. So yeah, I'd say right here, right there. And last but not least, Shinx. Now, I would say Shinx and Pikachu have a lot of competition with each other, mainly because they're both electric types, they both learn Discharge. However, Pikachu gets Agility, whereas Shinx does not. So that's one of the reasons. I think Shinx has slightly more type coverage, access to Fangs, different types of like Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, I think maybe even Ice Fang, Crunch for sure, I think. When it evolves in Luxio, it looks badass as hell for sure, but when you're picking it normally, I'd say B tier. Does okay in the normal storyline, does a little bit better in post-game for sure. Shinx's IQ group is C tier, so not any, quite a normal IQ group, nothing special for sure. But I would say this would be my ranking list. And again, it's a little bit more, I recommend, watch the entire video, obviously. It's a little bit more than just having Skitty be like, oh, Soul S tier and everything else Soul A tier. Like I said, it's like, nothing is S like truly S tier or S plus until you evolve it. Like all these Pokemon have the ability to become like high A tier, high B tier, or S tier once you evolve them post game, but just picking them purely as a starter, I base it much more off of IQ groups and type coverage and how they do main game versus post game. So yeah, there you go. These are my thoughts right now. I'm biased definitely towards Pokemon right here, but you know, even though I'm biased, you can see I still rated them B tier. And yeah, unfortunately for both Chikorita and Phanpy. But yeah, this is my opinion. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you disagree or if you have different thoughts. I feel like I covered quite a lot of different things. Let me know if you think I missed anything in coverage, and I'll be doing a separate IQ tier list video in case you guys want to follow up to see how that affects my thoughts and the game in general. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to my thoughts about this video. I did not see anyone else post a Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky tier list on YouTube. Someone else did a Red Rescue Team, Blue Rescue Team one, but and other people made a tier list off of the tier list maker, but no one posted it onto YouTube. So I thought I would just, you know, kind of share my thoughts exactly why I put them on, not just like, oh, I like this Pokemon, let me put him over here. No, I actually physically played through the game as Phanpy, Cyndaquil, Chikorita, Bulbasaur, Trico, Feraligatr, Eevee, Riolu, Torchic, Charmander, Piplup, Pikachu, and Skitty. I played through them all. As you can see, I did not play through it as Vulpix, so for the Pokemon I didn't name through, I think my opinions are probably a little bit more subjective rather than that. But for all the Pokemon I played through, I'd like to think that my experience playing through the game so many times throughout my years of playing has led to a pretty objective viewpoint, I should say. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out other videos on my channel if you guys are interested in that kind of thing. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!